Hi, I'm George Gomez. I'm the Chief Creative Officer for Stern Pinball.
George, today we're talking about a big new program that has kind of come out for Stern Pinball, Insider Connected, which, as I understand it, is a community app that is not only something that Stern fans can download on their phones. It's being installed into all new Stern machines, and there's a kit that will be available for some of the older machines. Is that correct?
Yeah, sort of. It's basically it's an initiative to connect the pinball machines. What's very unique about it is that up until now, when you play a pinball machine, the pinball machine has never had a way of knowing that it's you playing, you specifically playing the pinball machine. So what Insider Connected it's a system wherein when you register as an Insider Connected member, when you have an account, which is free, by the way, you get a QR code that identifies you, and you can walk up to any of the connected Insider Connect, any of the Stern pinball machines that and with the QR code, either on your phone, or you can either pull it down from the web app, the Insider Connected web app, or you can put a photo of it in your phone or however. You can scan into the pinball machine. The pinball machine automatically recognizes you. So on your score tag on the screen where it says player one, it'll show your initials, your avatar. It'll know that it's you. So what this does is it allows us there's an entire system of all of the usual gamification that occurs in video game products and in environments, and it's tied to the pinball machine. So things you do in the pinball machine are reflected in your profile, and so you can earn achievements, track your scores, connect with your friends, earn treasure chests, participate in promotions. There are challenges to the community from Stern Pinball and from operators that will occur. So, play X number of connected games this week and get something for it. Lots of different cool new elements that, essentially bringing pinball into the 21st century. These are all are things that are commonplace, in the mobile entertainment world, and in your on your consoles, and pretty much every element of entertainment that we interact with today that's connected has similar capabilities. They've just never existed.
It's interesting to think about too, because it's kind of an evolution. Pinball machines have mostly been a solitary experience, but you did always have like that sort of backlit high scoreboard, the people that the folks that put up the best scores on that particular machine. But it was always kind of confined to that one machine, and it was always still sort of confined to you playing the machine at that time. This is interesting because it kind of expands beyond that, where not only do you have the challenges and playing the machine as usual, but you connect it into, from what I understand, a community where you can see other people's high scores on the machine, on that game at large, not just that one machine, but like that game.
That's right. You can also, you can look at, like, for example, if there's a few locations that you frequent, routinely as part of playing your pinball machines, whether it's wherever it is that it. So look into that location's games, and you can see what's going on at that location. So, what are their high score tables saying, and who's their top dog? There's a bunch of things that we're going to be doing, little contests that drive you towards, challenging that particular score and that location, etc. So, it's connecting the games and all of the things that come with it. Already we do. So currently, we do, when we download code to a pinball machine to update it or put in new features, et cetera, it's a very tedious project nowadays. You walk up, it's very primitive. You walk up to it with a USB, you download the code to a USB stick off your computer, and then you walk up and install the USB stick, download the code to the game. Well, now that the game's connected, the game just does that seamlessly if you allow it. So we can present the games with changes, topical events, just different things. Not only achievements, but we can create profile badges related to no different than anyone else in the world does. Peloton does it. Everybody sets up scenarios where maybe calendar events are driving it. Play on Halloween, or whatever you want, really.
A few of the locations that I have around me that have invested heavily into the pinball, they used to do tournaments all the time, and then the pandemic happened. It's become a little bit harder to do like physical tournaments. This kind of sets up a situation where you could have that sort of like an event, but it's like safer because it's an app connected event where people can still engage with each other, even if it's not in person. They can have that interactivity with one another.
Yeah, the system, it's about how you interact with the games, right? So you now have a portal that you can go to, a website you can go to. You can look at, your profile page, what you're doing. You can see what your connections, that's what we call sort of friends in our environment. We call them connections. And, you can see what your connections are doing. You're going to be able to visit forums on the games. You're going to be able to look into strategy pages and game specific things. You're going to be able to see some behind the scenes stuff relative to how the game was developed. You're going to potentially actions with some of the developers. So it is, there's all of the things that you normally see on in a web portal related to a topic that you're interested in are going to exist in Insider Connected. So news stories, features on coming down the line, etc. So it's really a way of you now can interact with the games on your phone, on any device, really, any mobile, whether it's a tablet or your desktop, wherever you want, from wherever you are, you can play in the world of the pinball machines, right?
For sure. And that forum experience it's interesting because like in the past, like we've talked with Jack Danger and other reps of Stern, and like occasionally we talk about like some tips, some strategies, some shop when it comes to like what are some pro moves when it comes to pinball. And the fun part about that is that even in our YouTube videos, we've sometimes had commenters like they're talking like, oh, I didn't know that's something you could do with that machine. And they also trade back and forth a few tips. And it's just like to have that in a centralized place where the shared passion comes together on one app is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff like that, and we're just scratching the surface, right? When we launch, we're launching now. When people get their Godzilla games, Godzilla's all come, connectivity enabled. All you have to do is go create an account, register your game, or you can create a free account without owning a game, by the way. Anyone can create a free account and have the app on their have access to the web app and the QR code that identifies them. And so you can be at any connected Stern pinball machine anywhere in the world. You can log in, it doesn't matter whether you're visiting somebody 3 states over, or whether you're on the other side of the world. It doesn't matter. The cool thing is that the system now recognizes you, and you can log in. Everything you do there is tracked and maintained in a world, so to speak, so you can look at it from anywhere. I think that we've also kit version, which is going to be sold at a very affordable price because we want people to adopt. And the kit, what we call our Spike 2 games, are essentially all of our LCD games. Any game that you see that has the LCD display in the back box is connectable with the kit. And it doesn't matter. The other that is that games that you've played and or maybe owned, or you've played it a lot, your buddy's got one, you've really played it to death. When we introduce the system, the notion of achievements that are specific to that game and new gamifications and new challenges, it's kind of like refreshing. So if you know a Guardians of the Galaxy like the back of your hand, and now we introduce Guardians of the Galaxy achievements, it's like playing the game for all over again. It's a new experience of playing, if you will. So we're facing all of the material shortages that the whole world is facing due to COVID, and so we're trying very hard to get the kits ready to go in October. And then speaking of kits and games that ship connected, any game that we build, we build in the factory, from the point that we start shipping, connectivity installed in Godzilla, will also ship connected. So if you've had a Deadpool on order and that Deadpool is going to be made at the factory after that time, it will ship with connectivity already installed, and you won't need the kit. But if you've already got, you already own you already own a Jurassic Park and you want to connect it, or the location that you frequent wants to connect it, then they just buy the kit, install the kit. It's very simple, really. It's a Wi-Fi dongle and a QR reader, and the QR reader plugs and plays to hardware game. And there's no cutting, no drilling, no splicing wires or anything like that. It just all plugs and plays, and you're good to go.
Considering what you mentioned about what you're developing as far as achievements and challenges, is that to say that over time as this rolls out, there will be content updates that come to various?
Yeah. Right. So when the system first ships, you got to roll the tape back. We've been working on this for a couple of years, and we a year ago, with COVID just hitting, and we're trying to figure out what the world's going to look like, we decided that people are going to, we should probably do the first set of features should really be player focused. So when the system, the very first things that players will interact with on any title they connect is the achievement system. And achievements are cool because they're essentially virtual recognition of through the game, but they introduce new gamification. So they might, for example, there may be things in the game that like defeating a character in the game previously was just defeating the character, but the achievement may add like a time component, in Deadpool, defeat Juggernaut in 15 seconds, you get this achievement. 30 seconds, you get a different achievement. So we'd add, there's, in Turtles, there's going to be a training component for your Turtles. And so the achievement set takes the existing rule set of the game and it's very well integrated into it, and such that it extends it. But so to get back to your question, we're going to roll out features. There are going to be content drops all throughout 22 until we have the entire the universe of what we call Spike 2 titles. That's the LCD hardware set, is about 17 titles. Connect all of them. There's going to be treasure chests will come down, will drop at a later date, and things like the ability to participate in promotions and challenges. There's a whole component to Insider Connected that is also focused on professional games on location, and it's intended to help us drive location play, help them also drive traffic to their locations and create player loyalty. So they can issue specific challenges related to playing at their locations. Package is called Insider Connected Pro, and it's intended for professional operator of pinball machines, and we hope that it'll help him increase revenues at his locations, drive player loyalty. no different than, very similar promotions. You can run all kinds of promotions similar to the coffee shop, right? You buy 10 cups of coffee, the 11th one's free. He can do all these things as a function of Insider Connected. He can present the challenges to his to his community. I can look on the app and I can say, oh, you know what, Joe's, if I play any 3 connected Stern games this week, I get a t-shirt or whatever it is, I get a free cheeseburger. I don't know, whatever an operator can legally use as a reward in his jurisdiction, that's what he can do with it. So yeah, all of those are going to drop across 22 because, like I said, the system is massive. There's a suite of tournament related tools to help people run tournaments and maintain leaderboards and all that kind of stuff. So it's incredibly powerful. It's going to be, I think it's a transformational thing for pinball, because every other product in the universe that we interact with, everything from your car to you name it, there's microwaves that are connected, right? And you can get recipes for your and whatever. So so this is just adding, just taking and bringing all of the potential to extend interactive games to pinball.
Nice. I really like the idea, like that. Not only is there like the Stern achievements, the Stern features, but like I go into my local pinballs and they could have like a promotion going on as far as this Insider Connected thing goes.
Yeah, and it's about it, like if they'll use the tools correctly, I mean, it's for you as a player, there's nothing but upside, because you basically, I'm going to go there to play anyway. So, and I may go there more frequently to play because I'm getting stuff every time I play. I'm building up, there's a couple of reward systems that are coming later on in the process of rolling stuff out. There's going to be an operator focused reward system and also a Stern pinball focused reward system. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think it's going to be transformative games.